Going. You're live with. Can you stop it? You're being weird. What are you doing?
You know the people that do like this, they can do like No, not like that. They actually do it.
Oh, yeah, and they're really good at it. Hey, welcome to a live recording of the Jags Experience, which is our new podcast.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, unlike what Justin sounds like. Give him a break. He's tired. He had a lot of pain yesterday. We'll get into that right off the start of the show with the one-wheel accident.
Yeah, also we're going to be talking about Kylie Jenner could become the youngest self-made billionaire in the world.
Of all time.
All time.
That's insane to me, but props to her.
Borat's back trolling Sarah Palin and a number of other political leaders.
Do you like Borat?
No, I don't know. I haven't actually seen Borat, so I don't know.
Have you seen any of his stuff?
I've seen the swimsuit.
I have the swimsuit.
I don't want to know.
Anyway, we'll move on from that.
7-Eleven Day.
7-Eleven Day. They get a day, and they get 2 times during the day. 7-Eleven AM and PM, and 7-Eleven July 11th. All branded 7-Eleven.
Oh, I get it. But free Slurpees today. A woman steals a car accidentally for 2 weeks, and a whole lot more we're going to get into on the podcast. But we'll pick up your comments every once in a while, and they'll actually work their way into the podcast, which you can check out afterwards. I like how that looks.
Yeah, if you're watching the show, feel free to comment, and we will do our best to get that into the podcast, which will be up on iTunes later today. Later today.
Hi, Zed Ovids. Anyway, we're going to jump into the podcast, and you guys get to see what a recording looks like, which is, very riveting and exciting. But we're just going to have some fun. So thanks for hanging out on a Wednesday morning, I think it is.
Yep. Yeah, today's Wednesday.
I think I get to start this one. You started last one.
How wild is it that I don't actually know what day it is?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, July 11th, and that's terrifying to me because it means I've lived 11 days in July. I don't know what happened.
You hit your head a lot.
Woof.
Yeah. All right, here we go. You got your coffee in you?
Do the clap thing that they always do.
No, that's for audio and video. You don't need that.
I just did it. Let's
go.
Well,
what?
Start the podcast when I clap.
Oh, okay. We'll clap. No, I'm not going to do it.
You're an idiot.
Hey, and welcome to the Justin and Greg, the Jags Experience.
This is the podcast that you listen to sometimes, but your friends listen to probably never.
But it's fun.
No, it's a good podcast.
Everything about it is just meant to be fun. A fun take on, I don't know, kind of world news and happenings.
Yeah, people always ask, what's this podcast about? And it's about any and everything. Relevant, irrelevant, and obscure.
And also a different take on, there can be the story, but what are we learning from the story and how does that kind of impacting our culture?
Right. We're not going to talk about just the news. We're going to interpret the news for you and tell you what to believe.
Yeah, because we're very qualified to tell you the real news that's happening when you get a news story, not those journalists.
If social media has taught me anything, it's that I have a voice and it matters. No, not at all.
Everybody has a voice, but does it matter? I don't know. That's a good question, Greg.
So here's a good question. How are you feeling today, man?
I would be in the camp of very sore.
If you missed it yesterday, Justin and I took a tour around the city on these amazing things called one-wheels.
They're like one-wheeled skateboards, electric longboards. I don't know. They're like these weird contraptions. They go like 30 kilometers an hour, i.e. 19 miles per hour on a single wheel, and it's very easy to crash.
It's very easy to look cool and have a blast, too. They go off-roading. I watched the promo video. There's people doing jumps on those things.
Yeah. Well, I saw you kind of do a jump when you face planted in the cement and slid across your belly.
Yeah, it was worth it. I don't know if you can see it on the live recording here, but I have some pretty bad road rash today. Oh, Justin's lifting his foot up here.
Yeah, my foot's been like bleeding and soaking through socks. It was uncomfortable sleeping last night, but hey, we did it.
Totally worth it. Last night, though, my body was like, hey, guess what? You're over the age of 30 now.
Yes.
You got to stop it.
I remember the days being 15 or 16, taking horrible wipeouts on my skateboard and being like, fine.
I'm a big believer in science. So science is going to solve that problem. So when I'm 65, I can steal one wheel, bail, and be fine the next day.
Well, and they'll probably have some kind of like special suits, with like force fields. So you can land, they just cushion you. So your body actually never has to take the impact.
Or just make me a robot. If you take my brain, put it in a robot body, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but do you think when they transfer over your brain, it'll actually be you?
It'll be
somebody that looks and sounds, but not your actual consciousness?
No, I've seen enough movies to know.
No, I saw a movie where it wasn't, and that's freaked me right out.
So let's start off with a good story.
Okay.
Over in Thailand,
yes.
If you're living under a rock, so the last time we recorded this podcast, they had saved 8 of the soccer players.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
7 or 8 of the players. But now they're all out. All 12 plus the coach. Everyone has saved. and the world has a collective hurrah. And if you missed last episode of the podcast, we were talking about how this is one story where we have not heard anything negative.
Yeah, nobody has come through and kind of poo-pooed on it and said, oh, by saving the children, we've actually destroyed something else in the world. Like, no, it was all been positive. The whole world community coming together. It's been pretty special.
Which is so rare for any sort of story.
Absolutely.
Remember there's like that Coney story from 2012, wherever it was?
That was not a positive story in any way.
No, it started out as a positive story. They wanted to stop Coney and save the children.
Yes.
And then immediately people were like, wait a minute, all these things are wrong with this. And that's traditionally what I find out about stories is like, oh, it's good. And then the antithesis comes out, and then we're left with like, man, let's just move on to something else.
Hey, well, great news. They've ruined the story.
Yeah, today, our good friend Elon Musk, and he's not a good friend, but he actually lived in Saskatchewan for a period of time.
Just down the road from us.
So he built this mini submarine to help transport these kids out of the cave.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, it looked very claustrophobic.
Yeah, it was tiny, but it was like, I don't know, a fuselage apart from their SpaceX rockets.
Also, great use of the word fuselage.
Right?
When's the last time
we
you used that
like
word?
A bingo somewhere where we just
ding,
like
ding.
ding, 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 we hit like really tough words.
Fuselage. Yeah, it was this. It could fit a kid in it, and they could just take him out because a lot of these kids couldn't swim, and they weren't sure if they're going to use it or not, or how it's going to work. Well, guess what? They didn't end up using it because they didn't need it.
They didn't need it. The divers did it, and they figured out their system, which was like a 5-hour underwater dive for these kids having to take off their oxygen tanks and all these kinds of things where, the submarine, maybe they could have just laid in it. Anyway, they didn't need it.
Didn't need it. All the kids were safe. So today it comes out, all of the media is like, Elon Musk was like trolling for free PR to try and save the day.
He just wants attention.
And they never used it, and they never wanted it, and they never got they got it, I guess. But it was kind of like, hey, Elon, screw you.
Yeah.
We don't need your help. Quit trying to do good things.
No, I think what they're seeing that is he trying to take advantage of a bad situation to push his own brand and SpaceX and their brands? That's the question.
And what do you think?
I don't know.
No, he's not.
How do you don't know that?
No, because it's not like one of those things where a tragedy happens and some brand comes out and says, hey, I'm having these t-shirts and I'm going to give 50% of the profits of these t-shirts to the cause.
I will give you that this was probably a multi-million-dollar investment on his part, which Tesla, is already bleeding a lot of money. It would have been very expensive for them to do the part.
Who's paying you to say that about Tesla?
Nobody's paying me. I want a Tesla before they run out. They're not going to run out of money. They're going to be fine.
Thank you.
But here's the problem is there are tons of people in the past who have tried to take advantage of tragedies, and we don't know his intentions. We don't know. He can come out and say, which he did today, basically saying they asked for a backup plan. They asked me to come up with this thing. And so I did it, and I've delivered to them. They can keep it because maybe they'll need it again. The whole world needs to get bent.
Yeah, and they didn't use it. It's fine. But whether or not he was trying to do it for PR sake or whatever, one, he built it and it works.
Sure.
Two, maybe they didn't use it, but they can use it again. He left it there for them to use in the future if they need to. It's like, hey, I created a viable solution in 4 days. Where were you the rest of the world to try and help?
Here's the bigger question I have. So what? If he was trying to do it for a PR stunt and we could get more billionaire businessmen when the tragedy strikes to invest millions of dollars to come up with solutions to get a bit of PR, isn't that better for the world?
Yeah, what do we lose if one of these billionaires comes up with a solution to save people's lives and they get some free press off of it?
Like when a tragedy like Hurricane Katrina happened. Oh, man, billionaire philanthropist is stepping up to the table to rebuild 1 billion houses. Okay.
Screw you, buddy.
I think about here in Saskatchewan, we have a children's hospital, which is finally being built. And there's a guy, Jim Pattison, who owns a bunch of stuff, who made a massive multi-million-dollar donation. And now his name is on the hospital. And part of me goes, dude, why do you need your name on the hospital? But the other part of me goes, oh, well, you got your name on the hospital and we got a hospital. So I'm okay with it.
This is interesting because this is always the tension between sponsorships, right? Where Nike will come in and buy a school and say, hey, we want the gym to be our colors, the gym to be called Nike's gym. You all have to wear Nike's stuff. And people are saying, oh, we don't want corps in the schools.
Right.
But the school is way better off because of Nike's money.
Right.
So where do you fall in that?
Well, I mean, I think we want everybody to do things out of the pure intentions, wanting nothing in return. And those people are amazing. There are some people like that. But until everybody becomes like that, take the money.
No, you take the money. The school's way better off. I don't care if you call it Nike, Adidas, and one Fila.
And if they can get in competition with other people, that's good for everyone too.
Yes. And I understand that corporations wield a lot of power and they're not very much fun. And if you dig down, like, it's like, it's too bad. They're probably bad for society. I don't know. But in this case, let's do good things and be okay about it.
Yes.
I don't even care if Elon said, hey, I'm doing this to get PR. I'm going to save these kids' lives. And I hope you all talk about me in Time and in Newsweek and on Reuters because he's saving lives.
Yeah, I think that feels a bit icky. I was just thinking, okay, let's grab some comments. I'm going to fix the camera because it needs to be reset.
Sorry, I got bad eyes. I got to zoom in here. Sharon Collins says, I agree. So what? Thank you, Sharon Collins. As well. Oh, man, I need glasses.
Yeah, I thought you went to the eye doctor.
I did. What does it say there? What's that? What's this name?
Gestetner, noon in the East. You guys are stuck 2 hours in the past.
That's funny. We're reliving the past. My brother lives in Australia. He's 15 hours ahead of me. I always ask him, hey, how's Christmas looking? He's like, it's pretty warm. Of course, it's summertime for him for Christmas. But,
oh, right.
You know,
that would be such a weird concept. All right, let's pick up the next story.
Okay, so one of them that I think is interesting is that, so you've never seen Borat.
No.
So Borat came out. It was Sacha Baron Cohen. He does all these different characters like Ali G. He did, not Stefan. What's it called? Bruno. He does Borat. He does a lot of different things.
I was mixing up Bruno and Borat in my head.
Right. Well, I've seen different characters.
I've seen bits of Borat. Actually, before Borat was a movie, he had the character and he would go and I think troll people in the character. And I think I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah, and people think it's real. And so he's famous for this. He goes on a talk show or goes out in the world and he's in character and he trolls people and asks them questions. And then they take him as real because it's one, good makeup and great acting. And then they get exposed or embarrassed because of their answers. And so this just happened again with
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin got trolled by, well, we'll call him Borat. And she's not happy about it because she feels taken advantage of.
Well, there's more to the story, which is he's developing a new TV series where he basically goes undercover and he interviews politicians as characters. It wasn't Borat interviewing Sarah Palin. He dressed up as like a
wounded war veteran
with great like hair and makeup and looked the part and was asking her questions. And I don't know what he said to try and goad her into answers until finally she walked off the set.
You know it's going to be controversial.
Yeah, of course it will be.
But here's the thing. I don't care if it's controversial. I care about two things. One, is he framing someone into saying something inappropriate? Because that I don't care about, right? They do this all the time with media, with celebrities, is they'll try and goad them into reacting about something. Like they'll insult them, their kids, and try and get a story to try and put on the internet. To me, that's not it. But if Sarah Palin said something incriminating or embarrassing or dumb because he's asking her questions about politics and she can't properly answer, well, then that's on her.
Yeah, I haven't seen the context, but if he's pretending to be a retired war veteran and saying, a bunch of offside or offensive or racist or slanderous things, then I think that's a little bit tough.
Like it's too much.
The producers of the show are saying, like, they're going to stand behind it because she's calling, like, she's not happy about it, as are a number of other people who've gotten trolled by him. But the producers are standing behind and saying, this is actually a different way of looking at politics and culture and investigating some pieces, which I don't know.
No, it's no different than undercover investigation. Cops go in pretending to be someone. They spend years doing it sometimes. Is that wrong to find out what is actually going on? Or do we just expect everyone to always tell us the truth? Hey, are you a drug dealer working for a gang? No. Oh, I thought you were. That's too bad. Okay, I guess I was way off.
Well, I thought there was another comment where I can't remember who he was interviewing. I think it was former vice president, somebody, and he got him to sign his waterboarding kit. I don't know if you read that in the article.
No, I didn't.
It's like, and the guy, he did, and he's like, I've never been asked to sign this before. And I don't know what that means, like what a waterboarding kit is. Whether
waterboarding is a form of torture that they did in Guantanamo.
No, I know, but like, is there also like a waterboard? Like, did he get him to sign like a board for water? Like a
No, my guess is it like, hey, I use this kit to waterboard people, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll sign it. Now, I'm going to give some grace here because when you're on the spot and when you're live, we know this. We do a live show.
Sure. Yeah.
It's that sometimes you have to try and react and just kind of meander a situation that's not obvious all the time.
Yeah.
So if someone says, hey, sign my waterboarding kit, sometimes it's easier for you to go, I'm uncomfortable with this.
Right.
But okay, because the alternative is, you know what I mean? Like you can't always be on top of it all the time.
I think there's a bigger question here, which is part of me would go, okay, you should just be you, no, regardless of the situation. Doesn't matter who's interviewing you or under what context or pretext. Just answer how you would always answer. But the problem is, and maybe it's not a problem, it's humanity, is we generally shift ourselves a little bit to cater to our audience, whoever that audience is.
I would never do that.
You do that all the time.
I would never do
that's
that.
Literally the story of your life.
You don't know me.
Yeah, I do. I spend a lot of time with
you. You don't know me.
Depending who's around, you'll dial it up or dial it down, or certain things make certain people laugh, so you'll be way more in that character or this character or that. And I think everybody does that because it's actually a form of empathy in a way of trying to find common ground with people.
No, if you're an easy laugh, I'll go for it repeatedly. I will admit to that. If you laugh at like an easy joke, I'll go for it all day, the same over and over again. I'll use the same jokes every single day on the same person if it's an easy laugh because I love laughing.
It'd be my question to
you're welcome.
The audience watching live here or listening on the podcast, and feedback if you have it is: do you think it's wrong to slightly change not who you are, but change bits of how you act and how you would carry yourself depending on who's around you?
It's a good question, and I think the answer is yes and no. It depends on what you do it. Like if
that's not an answer.
No, if I'm a completely different person,
sure.
Whether I'm in public, people always in social media they find this, right? If I'm on social media and I'm like, oh, I'm super fun and outgoing, and then in real life I'm like, don't talk to me and I'm rude. Well, that's a problem. But there's different parts of your personality, right? And if you like sports, talk with your sports friends, then you're going to bring out that side of it. And if you get heat up about sports, whereas you can't talk about the music side, which maybe is more subdued.
Sure.
So there's flexibility there. But yeah, I think that the idea of changing yourself, and I think that it's the core characteristics of who you are.
You shouldn't change your values.
Right. And that's really what counts is your values.
But yeah, for me, there's some people who are like, I don't mind sports and I can talk about sports and I'll talk sports with sports people, but I also play music. And so it's a good example is I'll talk more music. I think what gets tricky is if the government gave $1 million to either sports funding or music funding, and as a result, the other party didn't get it. Well, how do you land on that?
Booyah. And I mean, when it comes to politics, destroy those guys. And not like destroy them, but feel free to go after them because I think in the States, as much as in Canada, politics are so ugly, man. And nothing drives me more nuts than having politicians only look out for themselves. And so if Sacha Baron Cohen is going in there and doing this to try and expose people to be like, listen, you're actually a liar. Well, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, get at them.
You're saying drain the swamp?
I did not say that. I'm just saying I just hate when politicians lie. And it happens all the time. Kills me. You get some comments, though.
Yeah. Love or Protect. The frame rate on this live stream looks crazy choppy, like 10 frames per second. Oh, that's weird.
It did. Yeah, look at that. You see that?
Yeah. I don't know. We're just going through the old YouTube live. They have this new, like, just go live thing where it uses, like, the webcam. We've got a thing plugged into it, and that's weird. Next time I might try changing it slightly to 30 frames per second. Could also be the internet. Well, our internet's fast. I don't know. This is like a new thing from YouTube, so apologize for that. Ricky Dievenbach, I like sports. Thanks, Ricky.
I like sports. I don't care who knows.
Yeah, especially basketball, right, Ricky? We're going to talk a little bit about Ice Cube's Big 3 League. Get your take on that. Pinhead, go Knights, go. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday, Pinhead.
Very cool. Happy birthday, Pinhead.
Hopefully you're in Vegas.
Hopefully your real name's not Pinhead.
That'd be interesting if that was your, like, real
right
name.
I wouldn't be surprised today's day and age where everyone wants to have, like, the cool name for their kids. You're going to be called Baskin Robbins. Maybe we'll get a sponsorship and then they'll put you through school.
Yeah, be something.
It could be a thing. Okay, let's get into this basketball thing. Or you want to do the basketball?
Well, no, I'm fine if you want to. I was just going to start a topic because you always start the topics.
Go for it.
And then you're always like, hey, you should start some topics. And I'm about to start some topics. And then you just interrupt me.
Whoa.
What?
That's personal.
Yeah, it is personal.
We're live on the internet, man.
You shouldn't do that to me.
Start a topic.
Do you want to start that one?
No.
Good. Hey, I don't know if you've heard about this story of this Ontario woman who accidentally stole a car for 2 weeks.
I almost heard about it. I found it on the internet, but then you had found it first, so I figured I'll let you read it and you tell me about it.
Okay, so she goes to rent a car. She rents a car. She goes to Walmart. She comes out of Walmart, and she gets into the same car that wasn't her car, somebody else who owned the car. So she goes, and, you know, this happens in parking lots to people. I won't throw my wife under the bus, but I'm throwing my wife under the bus. She can't remember where she parked the car. So she comes out, and this woman sees a car, which she thinks is her rental car, and it's one of those new cars with a fob. So she goes up to the car, the door's open, she gets in, she starts the vehicle, and she drives away.
Sorry, the fob worked on another vehicle?
what happened was the owner left his fob in the car, probably in like the glove box or the console or something.
So she thought it was working.
So she thought her fob was working and it was her car, and it's a rental car. She doesn't know license plate. She doesn't know the car. So she drove it around for 2 weeks. When she went to return it to Enterprise, the manager there recognizes this isn't our car. This car has been reported stolen. And the guy whose car it was stolen came here and rented a car from us.
Amazing.
So he like put the whole loop together.
That is like, that almost could never happen. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, him going to rent a car from the same place?
Yeah, that she rented from, and it's quite the story. But part of me goes, why would you leave your fob in the car?
Well, I mean, I've done that. I've done it before where it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to be quick.
What's your make, model, and license plate so we can follow you around?
Yeah, it's funny. But
or
like,
your vehicle.
It's all about time. Like, if I'm going to jump in and jump out, I'm not going to, well, hey, I can
put your key fob in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's there, but I'm not against putting it in the console and be like, I'm going to jump in, jump out. It'll be fine. And I know in the States, it's kind of crazy to do that. But in Canada, people, in the wintertime especially, people leave a car running for like 25 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, that's what you have a car starter for, so people can't drive away.
No, people put the key card. Like in our city, in Regina, Saskatchewan, people's cars are always being stolen. And there's always like public announcements being like, do not leave your keys in the car.
Actually, we have like provincial insurance for all of our vehicles. And they've come up with this campaign about half of the vehicles stolen have the keys in the vehicle.
It's a thing that we do here. We just leave our keys. And I think actually, because we're more of a rural community,
sure,
like farmers are just used to like, well, there's no one out here.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the city, I'm just going to toss my keys on the floor underneath my mud mat or whatever it's called. And then I'll just go in and come back out.
The other, I've only seen the movies, and every single pair of keys is in the visor.
There's lots of those.
Every single one, but I've never thought to check under the mat.
There's mats. There's up there. A lot of people just leave in the ignition.
The bigger conversation here is why you're such a weirdo and you have like 1,000 things on your car keychain so you can never put it in your pocket.
No, I don't like keys. I usually put them in my bag.
Yeah, but your keychain is so full of stuff. You don't need that much stuff.
Well, you never know when you're going to use it. I mean,
like,
if I use it once a year, it's nice to have it on you for when it's there.
You're like the guy who's got like the padlock in his shed that he never goes into at his like grandparents' farm. And so you keep that on your keychain all the time.
Or my old bike lock from a bike I no longer have, or the bike lock, but I might find it. It might come up at some point. What I really want is everything to be on my phone.
Sure.
I want all my IDs and my passport and everything on my phone because I never leave home without it. It's more important than my wallet.
Yep.
And I want everything to be like tap, like beep, to unlock my keys, my house, my everything. Because like I say, the thumbprint on this is more secure than a random piece of metal that I could find or lose.
Yeah, then that's a good point, because people would be like, your phone, what if you lose your phone? And it's like, well, if you lose your phone and you've got a passcode on it, and especially maybe a good one, like a 6-digit, and a fingerprint scanner, that is way more secure than what if you drop your car keys? Well, somebody walks through the parking lot beeping it, and then they find it, and then they run away.
Totally.
Plus, all your credit cards, if somebody steals your credit card and spends money on it, the credit card companies give you it back.
Boom. And I think actually since Apple changed one of this is just for iPhones specifically, but they changed something for security. And in New York City, they were getting iPhones stolen all the time. And then now it's like dropped. Like no one steals iPhones anymore because as soon as it's gone, well, you just go on the cloud and you delete everything and lock it and they're useless to you.
Well, now you actually, in order to be able to erase an iPhone, you have to be able to sign into the original Apple account, or else you can't unlock the iPhone and sell it.
Yeah, and so like phone thefts are at an all-time low. You need your fingerprints to use it. So why not just put everything on here? I know in Estonia, everything's online. They've got like government ID cards that have everything. You buy everything through it. They know everything. And I know that's kind of scary for people, but like, let's be honest. Facebook knows a lot about you already.
Sure. They probably
a lot
could do
about
that
you. In fact,
already.
I went and downloaded my Facebook data just to see it, to see what it looked like. And there's a lot of things on there. I have a bunch of friends on Facebook. It told me every one of their phone numbers. Because when you sign up for Facebook, they ask for your phone number, and a lot of us give it because of mobile stuff.
Yep.
You don't have to, but we just give this information out, and it's all there.
Do you know whose phone was not in that list?
Yours.
Yes, thank you. Because I hate the phone enough that I don't give out my phone to like anyone, because I'm afraid somebody will call me instead of texting me.
And you also wear a tinfoil hat when you're not on camera.
No, that is completely different.
You're scared of getting the government.
I will give out all my information. Just don't call me.
On your cell phone.
Yeah.
Do you know you used to call me on my cell phone?
What do you mean?
That's a Drake quote.
Drake from a duck?
You can't use that joke, man.
I'm going to use that joke till the day it dies.
No.
The duck.
No.
Till Drake the duck dies.
Let's get some comments in here.
We got Ricky Tiefenbach. Did you see the 49-year-old Abdul Rauf hit the game-winning three? Still got it. That's going to be a reference to BIG3, which we're going to pull up here soon. And Sharon Collins says, go Knights, go. Happy birthday.
Love birthdays. Okay, so today's a big day on the sports stage as a whole. The World Cup semifinal, the second semifinals today.
And that's between?
England and Croatia.
Okay.
Now, funny thing about Croatia, someone pointed this out on a map. If you're by a map right now, look at this. Croatia has taken all the coastline from Bosnia.
So like they started a new country and just took the coast.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Bosnia, no coast for you. It's like Bosnia is here right next to the coast and Croatia's over top of it. And they come all the way down the coastline.
Same country?
I don't know the history of it.
Oh, the history.
Yeah.
Well,
I just pronounced it differently.
Oh, that's good. It's weird.
Anyway, Croatia is, I think, the favorite in this.
Yeah, they've been really good.
But England's sexy. They're young, they're hot, and everyone wants England because apparently England invented soccer, right? The whole it's like hashtag bring it home or the cup's going home or something like that.
Can we talk about why soccer players are so good looking for athletes?
Yes, I'll let you lead and I'll react to what you say.
Is there another sport in the world that has, as a whole, better looking athletes?
I love that you can say as a whole, like worldwide. Soccer players are attractive. And we can say that on the podcast because it's true. It's almost undeniably, objectively true. People from all over the world, if you play soccer, and I would argue the fact that, one, you don't have like massive size, muscle mass like you do in the NFL.
Yeah, you can say thinner.
Right? In the NFL, people like...
Some people like a muscly guy, though.
It's true, but like...
Or girls. Either way.
People like in shape, it's important. Hockey, you just have no idea.
And you've taken a lot of pucks to the face.
Yeah. If you get the close-ups of those guys' faces,
oh man,
and the dental work, like the real dental work, when they're like missing like 14 teeth, they love it.
Yeah,
and some people will find that, but we're talking about as a whole. Yeah, right. I'm not attracted to like, oof. And then basketball is kind of hit and miss.
Yeah,
but like really tall guys in basketball too,
really
right?
tall. Yeah, so it's just like just different, but it just seems like, and some of it could just be the culture and the style. It's like they generally their haircuts are good, their skin is good. I don't know. I don't want to get like too
keep going.
Here,
keep going. I want to see where this ends up.
I don't know. Like that's my question to the viewers. One, who cares? Maybe you don't. But two, is there another sport that can compete? Like I don't know. Maybe there's like cricket. I don't follow a lot of cricket.
Yeah, you think about golf though. Golf kind of the same thing. It's a lot of walking. You can be in shape for it, whatever. But it's not the same.
No, mostly because they have such bad farmer tans.
Do you think it's a cultural thing? Like in terms of like the haircuts and the style and that sort of stuff?
Maybe it's just they're exotic to North Americans where we live here. And everybody else is like, no, this is normal. And meanwhile, everybody's like, they look at like the New Zealand All Blacks, the rugby team, like those guys. Wow.
We should actually look when this podcast is done to see if the MLS players who are, a lot more North Americans have the same history of like, are they Cristiano Ronaldo look good looking?
Interesting.
I don't know. And if you're weirded out by this conversation, that's fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter to me. But England, I hope, wins today because if England wins today, we have an England-France World Cup final. And how funny is that, historically speaking? Because they historically hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, hey, England, France, and I think French is actually the better team.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they came to the rescue in World War II, but generally speaking, not friendly.
Are you going to watch the World Cup final?
I'll probably be working.
On Sunday?
Is it Sunday?
Yeah.
I will try and watch it.
Yeah, I think that I want to watch it, but it's not really a priority to me. But it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it's culturally relevant. We should all watch.
I love watching World Cup. When we were at the lake and there was no internet, I watched a lot of World Cup.
Oh, through like satellite?
Yeah, they have satellite.
Oh, okay. You know what they should do? They should make the World Cup final like the Super Bowl final and have awesome commercials so we all watch it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Why wouldn't you? Because 3 billion people tuned into the World Cup last year. And that'll be more, not the final, but through the entire thing. And that'll be higher this year because it's way more, like it's easier to get to.
Yeah, it's I guess every year.
The last World Cup, I had an app on my phone. I could watch anything in real time, rewind it for free in Canada. Like we're good for that sort of stuff.
I want to know what is like a World Cup final watch party snack. Like Super Bowl snacks is like, wings and ribs and
it's because it's American.
Like greasy. I know, but like
I think it depends on where you are.
Like France, they'd be having like pastries.
They'd be having pastries, bread, French baguettes, and then charcuterie boards. And in England, they're having mashed potatoes and mashed peas, gravy,
spotted dick,
and a whole lot of beer. Right? They drink beer, and in France, it's wine.
It could be.
That's like what 60 seconds of stereotypes for us. So we probably should get off that.
You're welcome. Oh, how about today? July 11th is 7-Eleven Day, where everybody gets free Slurpees.
Yeah, and Slurpees are amazing, and it disgusts me that they're not worldwide.
What do you mean?
I spent 4 months on the island of Trinidad and the island of Tobago. They don't have Slurpees. They have 7-Elevens. They don't have Slurpees.
Yeah, because they know that Slurpees are basically a cup full of ice and sugar, and they will kill you. And food dye.
If you're in a hot country, you need Slurpees. It's like a thing.
No, you could have this thing that's called water.
No.
What do you mean? No.
That's the most boring thing you've ever said.
I don't care if it's boring. It's healthy.
I feel sorry for your kids. Hey, Dad, can I have fun and enjoy my life and have a Slurpee? They're free today. And you're like, now, have some cold water.
Yeah, and they will thank me for it when they are living many, many years into their lives.
Why would I want to live a longer, miserable life when I can live a short, good one? Riddle me this.
Right now?
Riddle me this.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah. You don't want to watch your kids grow up because you're going to die young.
No,
not
that young. Not that young.
Oh, okay. Like, what age are you fine to like not watch your grandkids grow up?
Yeah, like 75. If I start keeling out there, like, yeah, we'll just shut her down.
You think you're going to make it to 75 having Slurpees every day?
My grandpa lived till he was 106. Those genes are in this body. So see you there.
Gross.
I'll be at your funeral. I'll be like, well, he should have ate more Slurpees.
Maybe.
Anyway, in Canada today, July 7th, I think it's in the States too, actually, you can get a free Slurpee at any 7-Eleven. I think, world renowned for the best Slurpees.
I think it actually speaks more to what does a Slurpee cost to make?
Oh, man.
They're making bank on those.
They charge them like $2 for a big Slurpee. Over $2 for a big Slurpee.
It's basically water, a little bit of sugar, and some food dye.
It's free. Because when we worked at McDonald's, they were like, hey, pop is basically free for us to give out. So if you're paying $2 for, like, here in Canada, they have dollar drink days at McDonald's.
Yeah, and they're still making a pile of cake on that.
It's almost 100% profit. Same thing for Slurpees.
Like a penny or a couple pennies for the cup, and basically what you fill it with is nothing.
Nothing. And then it's all ice too. And
it is special. And here in Regina, we actually have like the busiest 7-Eleven in Canada?
In the world.
In the world?
In the world. It's the biggest. So the city that sells the most Slurpees is Winnipeg. Winnipeg, Manitoba, to our east from here. And actually, I'm going to bring up some quotes about just how prevalent Slurpees are in this city. So just hang on for 1 second, because this is insane stuff they're going to tell us here. These are some of the things about why Winnipeg sells the most Slurpees worldwide. Slurpee is the #1 beverage served to women in Winnipeg's maternity wards in the summertime. So if you just had a baby, you're getting Slurpees because you want it in the summertime.
Wow.
That's a thing. That's a thing. Instead of giving flowers, people meet and greet friends and the family in the airport by giving them Slurpee drinks.
Who makes this stuff?
This is real stuff. This is
it's real stuff.
These are things that make Winnipeg the Slurpee capital of the world.
Wow.
When it's minus 40 degrees Celsius outside, which is minus 40 Fahrenheit for you guys in the States, people can be seen waiting for the bus, biking, skating with a Slurpee in hand. Minus 40. Slurpee is the choice drink for fans watching outdoor football games, of course. Slurpees often served at summer weddings. It's consumed for breakfast year-round.
Oh.
Like, this is not a good thing.
No, I don't think.
These are stats, but we're not proud of these stats if you're from Winnipeg. You're like, oh, I think we've got an issue. Then this comes to what you were referring to of like, yeah, maybe stop having Slurpees for breakfast.
At what point are they also the diabetes capital of the world? That's what I want to know.
Man.
But so this location in Regina, though, sells more Slurpees than any other place in the world. And today they're actually having a block party.
Yeah, with free Slurpees, a Slurpee mascot, there's cake, there's
balloon animals,
there's special Slurpee
music.
Flavors.
Wasn't there a band?
Yeah, there's going to be bands.
Shutting down an entire city block, maybe not, but just having a party out in front of their 7-Eleven for Slurpee Day.
And don't think that I won't walk, because you have a 7-Eleven pretty close to your house. Yeah. I won't walk there when we're done this podcast to get my free Slurpee. And then I'll go back later in the day when the cashiers change over to get another Slurpee. And then back again in the nighttime to get my third free Slurpee of the day.
Yeah, I wonder if it starts at like 12:01 a.m. You've already missed a window.
I think the last time
you
we were there,
missed a shift change.
No, last time we were there, it started at 12, I think is what it was.
Oh, noon.
But they were like, hey, can we just get them now? And they're like, yeah, I guess.
Oh, right.
Remember?
And the power was out.
We had the mango hot ones.
And that one was actually, I have like one Slurpee a year. That one, it was like spicy mango, and it was actually delicious.
We should do a bit where we have Slurpees for breakfast every day for a week.
Nope.
And just see what it does.
Hard pass.
Who's the guy who's like, Supersize Me?
Yeah.
That
I don't
guy.
know his name.
He should do it.
Yeah. Only do Slurpees for a month and see what happens to your body.
Did you ever watch that show?
I sure did. And I ate McDonald's right after.
Was it weird? Like, what actually happened to him?
Well, what would happen to anybody if all you consumed was fast food 3 meals a day for a month, you wouldn't be healthy.
But did he just
That
have
much
Big
pop-
Macs and fries? Because McDonald's has like salads and stuff, right?
Yeah, what he did, it was something like he ordered, it was like only Big Mac meals. If they asked him if he wanted a salad instead of fries, he would take it, which hardly ever happened. And if they asked him to upsize his drink, he would upsize it and drink the whole thing. And so he basically just
a United States large is massive.
It's like 8 gallons of pop.
We just had
3
Carl's
times a
Jr.
day.
Carl's Jr.'s here, and their sizes are American. So they go, hey, what kind of size pop do you want? I'm like, small's fine. A small is like a large.
Oh, man.
And if you get a large, you're getting like a backpack full of soda. I call it soda because it's American.
I'm sad you didn't say knapsack.
Knapsack.
A knapsack full of soda.
Anyway,
I say pop.
I think that I would be fine.
In the UK, pop is drugs.
Here's the thing about living long. There's healthy habits and we live as a whole longer than everyone else.
Yeah.
But there's stories of people that smoke a pack a day
Yeah, I know.
and live to 100.
I think at the end it's just genetics.
And stress.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
I think stress has a lot to do with how we deal with stuff. Because stress nowadays in the world, we work so hard and we stress ourselves out about everything. Money, success, family, all that sort of stuff. And we just can't mentally, we're always working on something. Whereas back then, even with social media, right? It adds another layer of stress to us where we're always going. Where back then they could just relax. Smoke a pack a day, chill on the porch.
So do you think it would be better off if for some reason a Slurpee took away your stress, drinking a Slurpee every single day and not being stressed, or just being stressed?
Absolutely. A Slurpee every day.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Stress kills, man. You know that. If you listen to this podcast right now and you've ever been stressed to the point of you get headaches or it consumes your thought and you can't sleep well, it takes a physical toll on your body.
Sure.
And if the world, especially North America, or even in Japan where they work crazy hours, if they committed more to not being so stressed about things that don't actually matter, like your job or like your success in your job,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
like, yeah, you can lose your job. I understand that, but there's more jobs out there.
Sure.
You don't need your job.
Wow.
Don't stress about it. In fact, if you listen to this podcast, quit your job right now and thank me for it later.
Stop being stressed. Just laugh more.
You know who's not stressed? Kylie Jenner.
Hold on. Well, let's get into that. I got to reset the camera.
Okay.
We'll do that line again. If there's any interesting comments, you can read them.
Whoa, comment city.
Oh, don't pull it into the...
How do I... Oh, I need glasses.
Why can't you see?
I don't know. We got Sharon Collins said soccer players have great legs. I'm going to trust you on that, Sharon. Hector Flores says tennis players also. Actually, good point with tennis players. Yeah, that's probably the closest one. Ricky Tiefenbach says soccer players look like the guy at the bar who hits on your wife. Well, I think that's probably like pretty close to accurate. You have to read the rest of them.
Well, I mean, if you looked that good. Ricky Diefenbach says, do you think there's a connection that Regina and Winnipeg are the Slurpee and crime capitals of the world?
Probably.
Of Canada.
Yeah, I think that probably makes sense.
Hector Flores, in my family, Mexico, we make a reunion with a lot of our close friends and family. We buy food and beer, and then we see the final.
There you go. Is it Mexico?
Yeah.
Who beat Germany this year. Hey!
I wish you guys would have made it further so we could have more fake earthquakes. So there's also fake news.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're happy for them too, right?
Ricky Diefenbach says Morgan Spurlock.
I don't know who that is. He sounds like a Star Trek character.
Yeah. I feel like once I hear who it is properly, I'll be like, oh, yeah.
No, that's the guy. Morgan Spurlock is the guy who supersized me. That's who it was.
Oh, Morgan Spurlock. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so speaking of not stressed, Kylie Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kylie Jenner, I think she's one of the two younger, Kendall and Kylie.
I think she's the youngest, but I don't know. Somebody out there listening
of the Kardashians.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, the
you
Kardashians
need to know this stuff.
The Kardashians basically run America. I think any one of them could run for.
That was Dunkin' Donuts.
America runs on Dunkin's, but the Kardashians run America
onto Dunkin's.
So I didn't know this at all. Our friend Gary Vee was just talking about Kylie, who launched this cosmetic line, Kylie Cosmetics, said that she was worth $400 million in revenue in 2017, something like that.
335.
Crazy.
$335 million Kylie Jenner did in revenue last year.
In sales. I think that's sales revenue, not just like, hey, you're worth that.
No, because she's worth $900 million.
Yeah, they're saying that even with conservative estimates this year, if her business grows at all, and it should, that she's going to be the youngest billionaire, self-made billionaire in world history, faster than my friend Mark Zuckerberg.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And not insane because, again, that family is very, very smart. Kim Kardashian's worth, I think, about a third of what Kylie is, which is wild because it feels like Kim has been in the news a lot more and a lot longer, but Kylie just went into the right thing at the right time with her audience and has just played social so well.
She's 20 years old. She's about to be a billionaire. She did the lip thing. She had like the Kylie lips.
Oh yeah, right, with the cup.
Right. And then that was like a meme for a while. People would suck cups on their lip and then they puff off their lips and people wanted Kylie's lips, which were obviously it's cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, my wife told me today that she had her lip implants taken out now. Considering it.
Right, but she did the lip thing first and then she launched this lip kit to help make your lips look good. That was the makeup thing she launched and she sold out. And now she's a genius. And it's wild to me the perspective of before you would have been like, hey, Kylie Jenner, you know, a Kardashian, whatever. Like you're really good at PR, you know, the media. But now you're like, wait a minute, you're an undeniable business savant.
Yeah. And what I'm curious is, because, you know, no one person can run a $900 million business, is what does her team look like around her and what's her role in it?
The article that I read said there's 5 people.
Yeah.
5 people. Like the overhead is almost zero. Everything is, you know, outsourced, obviously. Her mom has a 10% stake. She does the PR because her mom is like wild at that.
She's done okay.
Basically her.
Yeah.
She owns it all. And she kind of talked about the power of social media. And this is something I want to get into because we've worked in advertising and we understand, you know, there's mediums all over the world. But what we hear a lot from companies is that social media sucks because they're doing it wrong.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But clearly it does work. And that's what I'm sure she went all into and is smart enough to go, no, I know how this works because I live in this world. Watch me work.
Yo, and she talked about she can connect directly with her fans who are her customers. And she does, right? And if you watch how someone like her, a celebrity, or you would call her an influencer, uses social media, guess what they do? They use it a lot.
Yeah.
And they're there talking and having conversations. And it's like, wait a minute, you can do this as a business person or a brand?
Oh, yeah. What do you know? You can.
Whereas most companies now just want to post something and be like, hey, come buy my stuff. Social media sucks. It didn't work.
Yeah.
She's on there all the time.
Brilliant.
She's a hero.
$900 million.
Does that change who you are as a person?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you probably have to, hey?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm amazed at is she seems to have a reasonably level head growing up in the environment that she did, which was in the spotlight and the fame and all those different kinds of things. And she's able to come out of that. But I think she's learned a lot of valuable lessons about how to monetize a following, seeing, you know, her sisters and, you know, her mom and their whole family and what they've done.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of mistakes were made in there,
sure,
but a lot of successes. And so she grew up in an environment that was hyper focused on monetization. And that's all they did. You know, people were like, oh, this show sucks. I would never watch the Kardashians. Well, the Kardashians don't care because they know what they're doing. They're building an empire. And it's insane to me what that would have given her, like a front row seat to how to make money.
Yeah. Speaking of learning lessons from an older generation, let's talk about Ice Cube's BIG3 basketball. Have you seen any of this?
I have not seen any of this.
I only stumbled across this again on the weekend. We were out at the lake and no internet. So I'm on the TV and I'm like, what's this BIG3 thing on the sports channel? And it is 3-on-3 basketball, which we have seen before. In fact, I think the best 3-on-3 player in the world is from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Hold on. Is this different than like the &1 3-on-3 that was going around?
Completely different. So it's similar in that it is 3-on-3 basketball, but it is a half-court game between largely retired NBA players. Started by Ice Cube. He started this whole league, and you've got like
the guy from the movie, like Ride Along.
Yep. That guy has brought together all these classic NBA players.
Like who? Like Alvin Iverson?
No, I haven't seen AI in there. They're not necessarily tier 1 stars, although there probably is some mixed in there. I only saw a couple of games.
Ron
but I
Artest.
recognize like
Meta World Peace.
Yeah. So Ron Artest is coming back or coming into the season, or maybe is playing under his old name, not under Meta World Peace, under his old name because it's about the throwback. But it's so interesting because it feels like I don't want to say like junkyard basketball, but it's like these big boys who can still throw down, getting in there. There's like no 3 balls, no long range shots. It's like classic basketball from big old school players. It's interesting.
Yeah. Are the rules changed at all?
Yeah, there's like, I mean, it's different because 3-on-3 basketball, like you don't have to clear at some points. And so you just like get the ball and they just like put it in the net and like not necessarily following all of it. But one, it looks like they're having a lot of fun out there. And there are thousands of people watching this. Like they were in like an NBA arena, I'm assuming, and there was tons of people there watching.
Because my first thought is, why would I pay money to watch geriatrics who are no longer good enough to compete play a sport that they were once good at?
because they are good enough to compete against similar people.
Right. So I can go watch, rookie children's basketball as well.
You know how powerful nostalgia is. And if you can go watch all the players from your era play and play the old style of basketball that you loved, I think that's what's making it work. Versus there's people who they hate the new Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, jack up threes the whole time. They want to see people getting nitty gritty down in the post and bumping elbows, locking boots, and making it happen.
That's like that one guy who started a pay-per-view for hockey, and all it was 50 hockey fighters, and they just fought, and someone won a big pot doing fisticuffs. People are like, I just want to see old school fighting hockey.
Isn't that the movie Goon?
It was a movie, but an actual thing that they made money off of.
Really?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm curious to see how it goes, but it seems like it continues to grow, and they're trying to work to get bigger and bigger stars. Will Michael Jordan come and Kobe and some of these?
Could you imagine if Michael Jordan or Kobe played 3-on-3 street ball for a living?
Not for a living, but for fun.
Here's what I bet you they're doing right too, and we talk about this a lot. I bet you it's a blast to go there and watch these guys play, and that basketball already has the best overall sporting experience, I believe, in the major sports.
Yeah, I mean,
soccer aside,
they can play music during the whole game in basketball, which I think makes a big difference to energy.
I bet you that's what they're doing really well.
They say it's like a party-like atmosphere. People just come and hang out and have a blast. And what I love is it seems like nobody's taking themselves too seriously. The names of the teams are Junk Alley Fighters, not that, but they have fun, funny names for their teams, and it's fun.
I would go to an event if the cost was not prohibitive, and it was a fun. Yeah. We go to sporting events all the time, and our biggest critique is this isn't fun.
Right.
It's just all about the sport, and I don't care. I mean, I care a little bit, but not enough. You know what I mean? If I go to a sport, I want to be guaranteed a good time, whether or not my team wins or loses. If they win, awesome. But if they lose, if you can guarantee me a good time anyway, I'll come back.
Yeah. 3-on-3 basketball. It's just it's fun. It's a little bit more laid back and a good time.
You know what's even better than 3-on-3 basketball? 2-on-2 basketball. He's heated up. NBA Jam. You ever play that game?
Oh, yeah.
The greatest basketball game of all time.
I had the tournament edition.
That's the one.
And it had the power-ups you could turn on too, 9-point hotspots and the bombs and all those different things.
What system?
Sega Genesis?
No, I played with Super Nintendo.
It was better on Sega.
Nothing was better on Sega.
Yeah, no, it came out on Sega, and you could turn it on. There'd be certain spots on the floor. They would be there for a few seconds. You go there. If you make the shot from there, it'd be worth 4 to 9 points. And there would be little power-up icons on there you could pick up and bomb, you'd hit it, and all the players would fall down. Your team would have easy access to the basket or instant fire-up, or, it was awesome.
He's on fire.
Heating up.
From downtown.
He's on fire. All I heard was, huh, huh, huh,
yeah.
huh,
boom,
huh,
shakalaka. Oh, I peeked.
No, of me trying to push the other player because you can push the other players over.
Or the elbows.
Yeah, or the elbows.
You toss elbows. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would go to any sporting event, even if it's a sport I don't understand. If cricket was a lot of fun, I would go if it was
absolutely.
Fun. Actually, my brother lives in Australia, and he loves going to rugby. He said rugby is a great atmosphere. And I've never actually been to a live soccer game, a real one over the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I would go, although I'm scared of is it hoodlums? The hoodlums, the gangs.
What?
There's in European soccer.
Oh yeah,
there's gangs associated with each team.
That gang that showed up and was throwing darts off the top balcony and just letting them hit people below them.
Yeah, and so when I lived in Europe, I had a friend that went to see an AC Milan game, and he got free tickets. But his tickets were in the section with, I don't know if they're called hoodlums or what they're called, but it was in the gang section. And he said he was terrified because he didn't want to get beat up or to do any damage to someone. So he just tried to
you just blend in.
Well, I don't know if you can blend in, but
yeah, you just pretend you belong there. But no, I'm not starting any trouble today.
I would not do well.
My parole officer's on my back.
I would not do well.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
I would prefer to be like Kylie Jenner.
What?
Yeah, to be a billionaire and not have to go to those things and throw darts at people.
Wouldn't it be nice? Well,
wouldn't it be nice if we were older?
No.
Anyway, that's the podcast for today.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. We are going to be back soon, probably in a day or two, with another one.
Yeah, what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, probably Friday.
Yeah, Friday. I have a charity golf tournament tomorrow. So.
Oh, you're going golfing?
Yeah, I love golf.
Yeah, you're not bad at it, actually.
Yeah.
Truth be told,
you're not good
I'm a better driving range driver than you are, but you're a better golfer than I am. No. Right now, anyway.
No.
That could change in the near future, but for now, you have the
keep talking, and I'll end our partnership and just golf all the time.
I mean,
and it will be better.
You can, but you'll also be broke.
Yeah.
Broke. You'll be broke.
All right, you guys, have a good day.
Thanks for watching, listening.
Whatever you do what you do. All right. Wow. We got some more comments here. Coming in here. Picking it up. Oh, ooh, sports. Oh, it's all Ricky Tiefenbach. Al played a little bit last year. Hey, AI. Oh, is that AI?
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. There are 3-pointers and a 4-pointer. I did see there's a spot on the floor, like way back, which Steph Curry would dominate his 4-pointer spot.
See, I kind of like that. Make it. Remember slam ball? We could have got into this. Remember slam ball? Trampoline basketball. It was on TNT or Spike TV.
Yeah, it was like all the yeah.
And it actually seemed way cooler in theory than it was when you played it. But I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
trampolines.
Try something new.
Water balloons.
Hector Flores. It's called Hooligans.
Hooligans. That's what they're called. The Hooligans. I think there's a movie about it too.
Interesting. Jim Sarazio says, "Let's see the road rash."
Oh, here we go. So that's me, Jim.
Yeah, and mine is. Oh, it's probably doesn't look as bad now.
You're still bleeding. I got one on my hip too. It's not that big, but it stings. But
we came out okay. So
I would do it again in a heartbeat. In fact, I actually want to get better at it.
Yeah, our friends Becky and Chris are over in Buffalo, New York. They have a channel. Their one wheel arrived today.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, which was funny because they're like, I'm nervous to watch this. I'm like, yeah, and then we wipe out all the time. They're like, our one wheel just showed up. I'm like, be safe.
I honestly think though, if we weren't so used to driving boosted boards,
once you got used to it, you'd be so good on it.
Yeah, that'd be better.
So you should get one wheel. I'll keep the boosted board, and then we'll race places
and
see what's faster. Because you can shortcut off road, but I can go faster on the road.
Yeah, I actually think that I want to invest in it. It's just different, right?
Yeah, for sure,
and more fun. So
sell your car. Sounds good. All right, you guys. We will talk to you later. End the stream.